Awesome. What is going on, brothers? What is going on? It is your dude, Mr. International Passport, here again for yet another classic live stream. First and foremost, how is my audio? All right. Person one in the live stream chat, my audio is clean, crisp, and concise. How is my audio, brothers? Is it good? Who's in the building, man? Who's here? How's the audio? Ozzy in the building. Shout out to Ozzy. Who else is here, man? Who else is here? Can I get a couple more ones in the live stream chat? Baseball clips is always he always hear baseball clips. David in the building too. Okay, I think I'm good. Awesome. So let's get straight into it. Okay. First and foremost, before I even start the stream, special announcement. Python course coming early next year. Okay, most likely February next year. Okay, either January or February. Okay, so look out for that. Don't miss your spot. Once it's gone, it's gone. Python course coming Q1 2025. Aside from that, what you can do is book your IT consultations with me for IT guidance and IT support. Aside from that, what you can do is join the Patreon for intel on how freaky Brazilian women are and Panamanian women are and other women of other different ethnicities and nationalities on my Patreon. Check out the Patreon. Aside from that, okay, if you want the Ibiza Spain live streams, if you want the Munich Germany live streams, if you want the uncut, unfiltered IPs version of Japan live streams, get me to 100 followers on Kick and Twitch. Okay, so if you don't have an account on Kick, I suggest you create one now. Okay, because I'm sitting on some crazy gems on those three countries. Okay, let me tell you, right, Japan is changing. Okay, I just came from there, and what I saw out there in Japan, I gotta tell brothers. Right, what I saw in Japan. Okay, and you want it? Get me to. I need to have 100 followers on Kick, and I also need 100 followers on Twitch. Okay, so Twitch, Kick, get me to 100 followers on Twitch and Kick. Okay, that's the plan. So as soon as I see 100 followers on Kick and Twitch, you will get all those streams. Okay, let's get it done by the end of next week because we're almost to 2025, and I want to share the Germany, Spain, and Japan intel for you brothers. Okay, so make sure you go and follow me on Twitch and Kick. 100 followers each. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Okay, I got a special guest here called Mr. Five. Okay, who is here to break down his experience in Panama and Brazil. Okay, so it'll be a Brazil versus Panama live stream. Okay, he's gonna break down the good, the bad, and the ugly. Mr. Fives, how you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. How are y'all?
I'm doing fantastic, bro. Good to hear from you again, brother. Fives, before we start the live stream, my brothers, make sure you hit the super chats and PayPal too. Support the channel and the movement. Brother, tell me a bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and anything interesting about you, bro.
Absolutely. So, I am originally from the state of Florida in the United States. Grew up mostly in that state, but I moved around all throughout the East Coast United States. Um, Former Air Force member. I was in Germany. I lived in Germany for about 2 years, then came back. Um, Came back mostly for the purposes of education. I have 4 degrees, including a associate's in logistics and then an associate's through a master's degree in business administration. Currently in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Um, just basically out here studying for subsea fiber optic cables and stuff like that, just kind of doing that work. And right now, I am just trying to focus on basically where I want to like see myself in the future, right? Like I've visited Japan, I've visited Panama, I've visited excuse me, other places like Spain and Austria and things like that. So just kind of knocking out realistically my dream sheet of where I want to go, but tempering my expectations and kind of narrowing it down to okay, these specific places are definitely a yes, and these specific places, all that glitters ain't gold. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome, bro. So, all right. So we're gonna compare Panama and Brazil, right? My first question is, so in your recent trip to Brazil, right? Why go there in the first place? And number two, what cities were you in Brazil? Let's start from there.
Well, on my top travel destinations in the world, period, of course, Japan was number one, but Brazil was a very close second. I had heard very positive things from, and I won't name names, but other people in the travel and passport community, right? So I ended up circling Sao Paulo. I wanted to go in 2022. I was originally slated to go in 2022. However, things happened in my personal life to where I couldn't go, and I instead decided to go to Panama and Japan instead, right? Because those were higher on my priority list in terms of education and just overall desire, right? So those happen, and I'm looking at my calendar and I'm thinking, I haven't really been anywhere in 2024. Where should I go? And I said, you know what? I already knocked out number one, right? Let me go ahead and knock out number two. So instead of Rio de Janeiro, because originally I was supposed to go in Rio de Janeiro for the annual Carnival festival, right? But because I had interacted with so many Brazilians, specifically Sao Paulans, in my time at my university, I ended up deciding to go to Sao Paulo based on word of mouth and my interactions with them.
Awesome, bro. And so Panama, where were you in Panama? Was it Panama City? I'm guessing.
Yes, we've actually done a live stream before about this. I was in Panama City and I was doing a study abroad program with my university.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So we gotta speak some real stuff here, bro, because we spoke, and you know, you said to me that Brazil didn't live up to expectations. You actually thought Panama was better. So we're gonna compare a lot of things between Brazil and Panama, and let's get straight into you know um, the woman. Let's just go straight into the woman part, brother. Right. So the woman in Brazil versus the woman in Panama, bro. Who are you picking and tell me why? Because from my eyes only, right, I would think, maybe it would be a Brazilian woman for you, right? Based on what I've seen, ethnic diversity. I love Panama too. I ain't been to Brazil, but I heard good things about Brazilian women, brother. But you may swing a different way when it comes to women between these two countries, brother. Break it down for me, bro.
To answer your question generally, I would pick Panamanian women over Brazilian women.
Oh,
Um,
why is that?
well, a few reasons, but one in the top of the mind reason for me is because when I was in Sao Paulo, because I was in city center Sao Paulo, right? So near the Redonde district, near the park where there's a lot of affluence, near the cathedral, everything, right? It was snap my fingers, $5 Uber, and I was there, or less than $5 Uber, it depends, right? So that was where I was. And anytime I was going into, decent places, right? Things like libraries, coffee shops, anything, right? I would see a lot of augmentation in cosmetics, like unnecessarily, right? Like on the gluteus maximus, on the lips. Um, there was one girl I shared an elevator with going back up to where I was staying, and she looked literally Barbie doll plastic. Like it was just, yeah. So that's honestly one of the biggest reasons why I would say that. And on the topic of like just meeting them in general, that's the second thing, right? Even with the language barrier, because there's a Spanish language barrier in Panama primarily, and there's a Portuguese language barrier in Brazil. Even with the Spanish language barrier, it was easier to interact with people because they still wanted to interact with you through the language barrier, right? Whereas the Brazilians I met, they just wanted to go on their way, right? Um, I saw a lot more of, how do I phrase this, transactional things going on in Brazil than I did in Panama. Um, I saw that it was more like a lot of the ladies I was running into, they were more monetized. You guys talk about that topic a lot. So it was just a better, it like to find a long term partner, I would say that it is better in Panama, and the natural beauty is more prominent in Panama than it is, at least in where I was in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Wow. So, brother, we have a lot to unpack there from your statement there. So, my first question to you, brother, is you've mentioned how uh, Brazilian chicks are a lot more fake body wise and looks and face wise than Panamanian women. So, you're telling me that Panamanian women have a more natural look, whereas Brazilian chicks, it's very plastic, surgery, BBLs. Is that what you saw out there in Sao Paulo a lot compared to Panama City, Mr. Fives?
Yes. Yes.
Damn.
It's not that it didn't exist in Panama because it very clearly did, right? Because you've got Brazilians, you've got Colombians, you've got Venezuelans. They're all Bolivians included, right? They're all mixing in to Panama City. So it's not like it's not there. However, what I saw in Panama was there was more of like there's a big gym culture in Brazil too, don't get me wrong, right? I would say actually that in terms of the total number of people, it is in Brazil. But if we're talking specifically about the amount of women I see in the gym, like predominantly, oh yeah, that easily, like the ratio of like women to men easily goes in favor of Panama, in my experience. So yeah, man, like when I was because my layover was actually in Panama, right? So when I was laying over, I was having breakfast and just like waiting for, my connector, and I'm seeing the natural beauty in real time from Panamanian women. And the entire time I'm thinking, at least on my way home, man, I could have just vacationed here and had a way better time. It's just my opinion.
Interesting. You also mentioned that it's very transactional in Brazil. So if you want something from a woman, you got to pay, right? So I think there's two parts to that, right? There's the outright part that dudes are paying for bucks quite often in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'm guessing that's what you saw. And two, even though you got a normal girlfriend in Brazil, you're still paying for a lot of her things, maybe her makeup, maybe her nails. You're paying a lot to keep her. Is that what you're saying you saw there, brother, in Brazil, those two actions?
Let me just put it to you this way, right? Because I was in both countries for about the same amount of time, right? I went on an entire date where the girl I was going on a date with could also pick up her end of the tab, right? She didn't have to, but she also wasn't asking for much, right? She just wanted dinner, she wanted a movie, and that was it, right? And that was pretty much the date, and to dance a little bit. That was it. Um, but in Brazil, right, a lot of ladies I would run into would want to literally have basically sugar baby treatment. They would want to go
What?
shopping. They would want to go to all the expensive boutiques and malls. They were like, it was much more materialistic versus experience wise in Brazil, in my experience. Um, so yeah, that's the comparison I would make.
Interesting. And brother, you're saying, brother. So, brother, I think this is the first time I'm hearing whereas you're saying where a country being very cheap actually goes against any sort of positive attributes. So we know for a fact that Panama is more expensive than Brazil, right? Would you say that because
Yes.
it's more expensive in Panama, it keeps away dudes that want to trick? And I think you're probably assuming that Brazil is becoming ruined or losing its charm because it's very cheap, and dudes who bring the dollars there or pounds or whatever or Canadian dollars, right, are basically paying for women because it's so cheap. Whereas in Panama, you can't really pay for women like that, or you go broke very quickly because it's quite more expensive than Brazil. Is that what you're saying there, brother? Is that a fair statement from me at all?
I'd say partially. I'd say it's more of just the fact that, and I know this isn't the direct the topic of conversation, but it ties into it heavily. It's the safety factor, right? Because Panama has the canal, right? Brazil is notorious for being down there on the safety index, right? Just to give you an example, on the Global Peace Index, it's literally just one step above America, which is very ironic, but I digress. I think it has a lot to do with safety because if people feel safe, people can let their guard down and they're more free to interact and date and see if they're actually compatible with somebody versus in the vein of like, hey, I am just trying to get some money in order to, feed myself or feed my family or get out of a bad situation or whatever. So I guess in that vein, I can kind of agree with the statement that you just made. But I also am acknowledging the fact that it is not the same culture, even though Panama has some Brazilian influence in there. It is not the same culture at all, right? So I think it's also just a culture alignment thing as well. Because again, when I was meeting the girls that I was meeting and dating them, and like we're going to coffee shops and stuff like that, it was way, way less about the fact that I was American and way, way more about the fact that I was approaching them at all. But Brazilian women are just used to that, right? Like they just get approached a lot, at least in my experience.
Awesome. Fantastic. Fantastic, bro. So, um, if you're here, press the two in the live stream chat. If you've been Brazil, press the two in the live stream chat. If you've been Panama, press the two in the live stream chat. If you're here, press the five, man. Who's here in the building, man? Let me know. So interesting there, brother, on the woman there, on both sides of the woman, brother. So would you say that Panamanian women are more wifey than Brazilian women? If so, what makes them more wifey in your opinion?
That's a bit of a tough one because I would say in a vacuum, yes. Panamanian, if I had to rank them, Panama over Brazil, definitely. But I will say that Brazilian women that I met were into more of the things I like. Like I said before, when I was in Sao Paulo, easily my favorite place or district that I was ever in was the Liberdade district. It is a heavy, heavy Asian and specifically Japanese influence area in Japan. And the
Mm,
ladies that I met there were like, it was nuts. They were having Pokemon Christmas and everything like that, right? But when you sit
mm,
down and you try and talk to them and like you like get a gauge of each other's personality, like just one plus one doesn't ever equal two, right? Like it's a lot of the times for me it didn't work. Versus the ladies I was meeting in Panama, they weren't into as much nerd stuff and culture and like all those things as I was, but they were super, super, super down to show you their culture and and you showed them yours and you teach them their language and they teach you yours. It was they were willing to come to the table with something, right? And just say, hey, maybe it doesn't match what you have, but here's something and we can make this work, right? Also, in my experience, at least from what I could see at the time frames I was there, the Panamanian women that I saw worked way harder than the Sao Paulans. Like the Sao Paulans partied harder, and I could appreciate that in its respective space. But like when it came to like them going out and like them actually showing that, hey, I am willing to put in some sort of work, the Panamanian ladies easily take the cake, right? Um, so, I mean, again, it just really is a big culture difference, which you wouldn't think because they're not that far away, like geographically, but it is.
So, brother, right? So, you're in Sao Paulo, right? You visit the Liberdade districts, right? And there's tons of
Mhm.
Brazilian and Japanese women, right? So, when you compare Japanese Brazilian women to Panamanian women, brother, who takes a cake? Who's better out of those two? Or are you telling me that even Japanese Brazilian chicks, they don't really come close to Panamanian chicks?
Mm, in my experience, no, no.
Damn,
The
why is
the
that?
reason I say that, well, again, if we're talking, this is a conversation about topics, right? If we're talking specifically about looks, then oh, of course, like they're drop dead gorgeous, like they have everything. But the problem with that, and I know you guys have talked about this on this channel before, is that that's not everything, right? You could be a 10, you could be a 9, you could be an 8, you could even be into a lot of the same things that I am into, like, sure. But when it comes to like showing genuine interest in at least like for me personally, like they just didn't seem that interested, right? they wanted to go on about their day. Maybe they have somewhere to be, or they wanted to meet up with somebody. Like they just weren't interested in just sitting down and having a conversation. It didn't feel exactly like America because at least they would smile at you. But if you were to say, "Hey, how you doing? Like, I'm interested in like learning more about Brazil and things like that. Would you like to sit down and have a coffee?" They would just wave you off and keep walking. Right? It felt very like it felt like they were just waving you off. Versus in Panama, they would sit down and talk for hours and hours and hours and hours about how they love the country and how they want to do more for it and things like that. As a matter of fact, if like men, women, it didn't matter, right? In my experience, when I was like talking to people about Brazil, they could not stop talking about the safety. They could not stop talking about their environment. Versus when I'm sitting down with a lot of Panamanian women, they would talk about their environment and they would acknowledge the problems with their environment, but they would also propose solutions. And I think that's the difference.
Wow. Okay, this is interesting, bro. Because I would have thought at least Japanese Brazilian chicks were at least on the level where they're meant you want to be with them, you want to be around them. So you're telling me that going to Brazil for Japanese Brazilians, brother, ain't the wave. Like, there's no point booking a ticket to meet Japanese Brazilian chicks. Do you feel like, brother, be honest with me, right? You're a black man, okay? Did you get that white worship vibe from Japanese Brazilian chicks and Brazilian women in general? Do you feel like if you're a white man, your experience there would have been much more better?
If
If
hmm,
you're white, think about it.
yeah, give me just a quick sec because I'm thinking. Okay. I mean, if we're being completely honest, it is also a height thing too, because you got to remember I'm not that tall, 5'6", 5'7", whatever. But if we're talking about like from a demographic standpoint, yes, yes, I would say that that is something that I saw a lot of in city center, Sao Paulo, where I was at. I would see way more I guess if you want to call it fair skinned couples going down up and down the street and things like that, holding hands together, or just native Brazilians, right? If they were a little bit blacker. But yeah, I did see more of that if you're asking that in a vacuum, right? So, I mean, this is just my experience, y'all.
Wow. So we picking Panamanian woman over Brazilian woman. That's it. That's very interesting, bro. So let me ask this right, brother, right? And keep it real with me, okay? Um, in terms of, you know, better treatment as a black man, right? Did you get better treatment? And this is brother, not just dating, right? But overall respect, being treated like a human being, being appreciated, being loved, just the overall experience, right? As a black man,
Mhm.
do you prefer Panama or Brazil when it comes to treatment?
Panama.
Why?
Panama. And I'll tell you why. Because I will and this is a story that actually ties directly into this because in 2022, when I was supposed to originally go to Brazil, right? Again, I missed it, personal issues. I had to deal with some stuff in the background. But I did meet a Sao Paulan lady who is still in Sao Paulo, right? And I was telling her, hey, one of these days I'm eventually going to Brazil. Um, like just what do you like? What do you think about that? And she was like, hey, I love the fact that you're going to come. Let me know when you get here because when you do get here, I want to show you around my city. I want to act like a translator for you. I want to do this, that, and the third. And it was not like I was depending on her to do any of this stuff. Like I was expecting this to be kind of a solo trip anyway. But I thought, okay, cool. So it's not like I had nobody to meet or anything like that. I got to do this like raw on day one. I get there and she basically is ghost. She doesn't show up. She doesn't invite and I'm seeing her Instagram stories and she's clearly out and she's clearly hanging out with friends, but like she convinced me that she had like zero time. And this is something that I think is very common with the Brazilian men that I was encountering is that I would get numbers and I would try and contact them, but they were all just so flaky. Like they just were like, if they contacted you, sure, you might be able to hang out with them, but there's like at best a 50-50 chance that they're going to be there, right? It didn't feel like in Panama, like versus in Panama, for example, if I wanted to hang out with a girl and she and I had each other's number and we say we're going to be here at 8 p.m. at this restaurant and we're going to hang out for this amount of time and then we're going to go chill somewhere else, that's exactly what would happen. So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So, I love Panama too. I think Panama was a great experience for me. And I know it's pricier, but I feel like it being more expensive than Brazil keeps out Pookie and Ray Rays. It keeps out, dudes who want to go out there and trick. So, brother, from a safety perspective, right? Brazil versus Panama, which was safer for you, and tell me why.
Oh my God, Panama. So that's such a no-brainer question. From the moment I even get there, right? Because I'm taking an Uber from my destination or from my arrival to my Airbnb, right? And I'm going there, and I'm not saying much, but I'm chopping it up a little bit with the driver, and he's just like, "Hey, listen, welcome to Brazil. I love my country, but just." Make sure you keep your phone in your pocket and zip up your pocket because I have zippers on my pockets so that it's a layer because they're out here robbing people. And I'm like, what? And he's like, oh, yeah, don't you know? Like, crime rate is high in Brazil, but like the biggest issue is robbing, right? Like, they don't want you, they just want your phone, like, not even your wallet. And this was like a recurring theme over and over and over and over and over and over again. The more Ubers I would take to certain destinations, and it just didn't feel like a. You know how you went to Panama and you felt like it could be like 1, 2, even 3 in the morning, and you could be moseying on the street, and you just like it wouldn't be a thing to you. Like it just
Mm.
throw your hands in the air, like you just don't care, right?
Yep. Yep.
You can't do that in Brazil. Just straight up, you can't. Like the
Wow.
streets were like crowded with like lots of like it just did not feel like an environment that I felt comfortable in like Panama.
Wow. And you know what? Right? I remember I was late, moving around late, walking around late in Panama, getting content, interviewing people past midnight, 2 a.m., 1 a.m. I was partying too. You see my clips, right, of me partying in Panama. And I didn't feel at one point where I felt safe there. I didn't feel unsafe there, right? Which is incredible for a Latin American country, right? And people are saying that in Brazil, you can't be out too late, be careful, watch your back. That is a shame, right? So, brother, when it comes to people, right, Brazilian people versus Panamanian people, which do you prefer, right? Who treated you better? Which do you prefer in general, and tell me why?
That one is a little bit trickier, actually. I would actually put them kind of if we're talking about overall people, I would put them neck and neck. And I say that because most of like I can remember an Uber where I was trying to get some cash out to go to this event that was cash only, and we could not find like ATMs to save our lives because it was like past 10 p.m. or something like that. So we're going and like on our way, this Uber was so kind in Brazil to take me to like 5 different ATMs. And I think by time like number 5 or like 6, I think I was able to finally end up getting some cash. So that did also happen in Panama, right? Where if you were to get an Uber or a cab or whatever, and you were to go somewhere and like maybe it's, not the place you need to go to or whatever, they'll be like, hey, just put in a different location and I'll take you. Or hey, where do you want to go? I'll just put in my different map and I'll take you for free. So I guess from overall in people, because in Panama, they didn't have to warn you. They just like would hang out with you and be chill. But at least in Brazil, they would warn you of the things like to do and where to go and where not to go and whatever. So I would say that the people overall were equal, right? It's just that if we're talking about the girls for dating, for like courtship and like how flaky they are, the edge does go to Panama because they're way less flaky.
Facts. So, and this is why, brothers, right? I big up Panama very heavily on this channel. Stop sleeping on Panama, right? I get that Colombia's cheap, Brazil is cheap, but for me, I'm all about quality over quantity. I'm all about safety
Yeah.
over, cheap thrills, right? Pick safety, pick quality, and you have no problem. Stop sleeping on Panama, right? So let me ask this, brother, right? Obviously, Panama is more expensive. Would you say Panama is on US prices, or it's definitely more expensive than Brazil, but cheaper than America?
One guy described it the best. Um, if you take American prices and cut them by like a third or like multiply it by 0.67, excuse me, you would basically get what you're paying for stuff in Panama. It is cheaper than America, but nowhere near as bang for your buck as Brazil. Of course, when I was in Brazil, I was eating dinner for like $8, like all you could eat, like Brazilian steakhouses for $10 for like $20. Like it was just insane. Like Ubers, like all the way across town for like $5. Like the bang for your buck in Brazil is just so bigger that it's just nuts. But
Facts.
like you said before, like I would still go to Panama because the quality like just drastically just shoots up in terms of like what you can do and like the people you meet and like the events that you go to, honestly, because a lot of the events that I went to, they were hyped up as like, all out there and all that stuff, and they weren't all that.
Wow. So now on this point here, right? Like back to woman part, right? In Panama, I saw black dudes with good looking dime Panamanian chicks, right? I did. And it shocked me. It really did. I even saw a black dude with brown skinned Panamanian chick. She had a nice body that they had a kid with them. I'm like, oh, well done, dude. You got a nice looking woman. Well done. Clap for him, right? In Brazil, brother, and keep it real with me. Do you see black men with good looking Brazilian chicks? Brother, keep it a stack, please.
Yeah, yeah, I do. It's not that it doesn't happen, but what you'll find is that those men are going to Brazil not for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, like I am. They are in Brazil for like months at a time. They're there for 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year plus, right? They are there for the long haul because they decided that Brazil is what they want to do or where they want to go, excuse me. Um, but they're in there. Honestly, a lot of the dudes that I saw with a lot of the gorgeous women had already learned some level of Portuguese. I know this isn't the direct topic, but if you're gonna go there, you gotta have at least a elementary level of Portuguese down pat because if you don't, it's significantly harder for you. Versus in Panama, for example, even if you don't know a lick of Spanish, a lot of the ladies will still work with you.
Brother, thing is, right, I don't think that it's worth learning Portuguese for a country where only that country speaks that language. How many countries speak Portuguese apart from Portugal, Brazil, and even like Brazilian Portuguese, right, is different from Portuguese in Europe. Let's keep it real, okay? Cape Verde, and that's pretty much it. Whereas in Spanish, right? If you know Spanish, right? You got Argentina, you got Spain, you got Peru, you got Ecuador. It gives you a bigger scope to work with, right? And again, I think that's why we got to pick Panama over Brazil, because I don't think it's wise to learn the language of a country where it's probably going to be the next America 2.0. I think also Austin Holman even said it himself, right? Austin Holman was in Brazil for quite some time, and me and Theo reacted to a clip to him a couple months ago, and he said that we probably got around 4 years until it becomes America 2.0, and I believe him. Brazil's close to America. I'm hearing that it's becoming very, very Americanized. Should I be learning a language where it could be America 2.0, where it's Spanish, right? Yes, maybe Ecuador may become America 2.0, but Peru's there, Uruguay's there, Paraguay's there, right? Uh, um, Flipping Panama's there, and you all speak Spanish, right? You know, and I think that's why we're going to tip the scales towards Panama. Learning Spanish, right, will not only give you access to Panamanian women, but also give you access to other Spanish speaking countries too. Is that a fair assessment there, bro?
Well, if I can, there's actually quite a bit to unpack there. But to answer your main question, yes, that is a fair assessment. I did want to, if I may, just kind of react to the whole Austin Holloman, because I don't know that I saw that clip that you said that you react to, but I will, if I can chime in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go on,
I
bruv.
would say that based on what y'all have been talking about with the problems with America and everything like that, Austin Holloman is 100% correct. Brazil will eventually turn into America.
What? What do you
I
mean?
don't want to say, I don't want to say it like that. I really don't. But based off of what I know about my own country and what I've seen there in the micro and macroeconomic trends and the behaviors of the people and what's being pushed there, yeah.
Brother, do you mind breaking down even further, please? What do you mean that Brazil could become the next America? And you can confirm Austin Holman's statement there. What did you see there, brother? What did you hear there? From your eyes only, from the eyes of fives, why is Brazil next in line to fall and become America 2.0? Break it down for me, brother. I want the whole 9 yard, brother. No lane skipped. Every foot stepped on that lane, brother. 100 meter sprint. Break it down for me, bro.
Um, well, I'll just go ahead and rip off the band-aid. I saw a lot, and I mean a lot, to the point where I was seeing places and going into them, and I didn't even know, but until they told me, and then I would immediately like leave. But there is a lot of what I'll just affectionately refer to as rainbow influence, like a lot.
What? Oh, no, man.
There is a
Everywhere?
lot of rainbow influence.
Break it down.
So I would go into places and it would be like because again I'm a nerd, right? So I go into places with good arcades, pool tables, whatever, and then a couple of guys will pull up next to me, right? And they're at the bar, and like I'm thinking, oh, those are just a couple of homies going out in the town and whatever the case, right? And then they turn to each other and they start going to town on each other, and then I gotta leave.
Whoa. Wait. What? You mean, yo, I don't want to get too explicit here, but when you say going to town, they
No,
what?
not like that. They're just like
Okay.
they're really because Brazilians are really passionate physically. It doesn't matter, man, woman, like all that stuff. But like they are like basically making out with each other so hard that I'm just kind of like, all right, yeah.
Fuck. Oh, God damn it. But man, that was everywhere you went to. That was in most places. You just saw the rainbow stuff happening right in front of you. You saw rainbow, imagery all over cities in Sao Paulo, on windows, on TV, in person. What's going on in Brazil, bro? Lord have mercy. Break it down.
Like I was seeing shops with like this stuff on display. I was seeing it celebrated, not all of the time because it's not everywhere, but I would say like 50% of the stuff that I was trying to do or like was doing and then I found out and then I left that was going on.
Flipping
Um,
heck.
I mean, once you said Austin Holland's opinion, I was like, yeah. And which is sad because I wanted to buy the hype of Brazil. Like I really did. I really wanted to buy Brazil's hype. It was high up there. And ironically, Panama was nowhere on my radar until it was presented to me in a classroom environment. And then I went, and then surprise, it's like top three on my travel list forever. But I guess that's just kind of the whole all that glitters isn't gold. But back on topic, the other thing that I found was just that a lot of people were, if you think it's bad economically in America, holy crap. Like, you almost have to say that even though like things are heavily monetized, like moral or otherwise, there in Brazil, like you kind of also have to think like, do they really have much of a choice considering that their payment and their wages are like excruciatingly not keeping up with like basic essentials and stuff like that. Like it was just, I don't know, man. Like I was walking down the streets and you can tell few, if anybody, cared about their community. They were just going through the motions. Um, there was a lot of homeless, right? And I get it, homelessness is everywhere, but like it was extremely pronounced where I was in Sao Paulo. Um, I was seeing a lot of the same attitudes and platitudes I saw here in America that I just straight up disliked. Like, unfortunately, I can't speak for everything because this is just from I'm on a vacation. I'm seeing things from just like socializing with people and talking to them. And again, the fact that when you sit down and talk to a Panamanian and most of what they say about the country, even if it's negative, has a solution based tie to it or a positive outlook somewhere at the end. But the whole conversation with a Brazilian is just straight negative is just all you need to know.
Wow. So, brother, the whole rainbow stuff, right? You didn't see that in Panama, right? You didn't see a lot of that in Panama City.
Not a single, not even an inkling of that stuff. No. Now that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I just didn't see it. And I went and toured like most of the major areas of the canal in the main Panama City area.
Wow. Now, so that's a problem there in Brazil and Sao Paulo. What about, would you say women in Brazil act more American than Panamanian women? And when I say that, when I say act more American, I'm talking about entitled, money hungry, are 3 or 4s, have a lot of tattoos, particularly they sleep around a lot as well. Did you get that vibe in Sao Paulo more than in Panama?
It exists in both. Let's not get it twisted. But
Mm,
if you're talking where it's more pronounced, yes, it is in Sao Paulo.
flipping heck. Yo, what's going on, man? Ah, you know what? Some of y'all were calling IP crazy when I said that, Islam and Middle East may just be the last bastion. When if things get really bad, Islam and Middle East gonna hold the fort. Y'all call me crazy. Y'all said IP giving up, IP talking nonsense. But you're seeing, right, how strong the American influence is. On this channel, I'm gonna give you the good, bad, and ugly. We don't lie here, we don't cap here. Okay. If things are bad, if things are getting worse or better, we're gonna speak on that. All right. So as I was saying, right, if things get really bad in the next 10 years, 15 years, even 5 years, I believe that Middle East and Islam is going to hold the fort. Okay. And I won't even blame my brother for converting to Islam to marry a low body count virgin Islamic chick. In fact, I encourage it because the way things are going, like again, now this is a Brazil stream, but what I saw in Japan, right? What international passport saw in Japan, I was side eyeing a lot of stuff that I saw in Japan. And I'll be real with you, and I won't go too deep into it. If you want the Japan streams, get me to 100 followers on Kick and on Twitch, and I will give you all the intel about Japan. Because what I saw in Japan, right, is probably the same thing I'm seeing in Brazil. I won't go too deep into it, but I'm getting a bit shook here. It's not over in any shape or form, but you need to watch these trends. Watch how women behave. Watch what they say. Watch how they dress. Watch what they're thinking. Okay, y'all gotta watch your backs and open your eyes and see the forest for the trees, bruv. Okay. So,
Just
Mr. Fives, go on, bro.
excuse me.
Speak. Mhm.
I was just gonna say, I need a quick intermission, like maybe a minute or two. If you wanted to go ahead and promote in the meantime, if that's okay.
That's cool, bro. Let me know in the chat when you're back, okay?
Okay.
Brothers, I'm gonna need you to follow me on Kick right now, okay? And follow me on Twitch. Because again, like what I saw out there in Japan, right? I was shook, right? I was shook. And that's why, I'm kind of opening my options a lot more. Okay. Now I know I was very much set in Japan, but I need backup options because in case things go really bad, I have an option because right now I love Japan, right? But it's not my number one choice anymore. It's a great country. It's still better than the US and the UK. But the way it's going, right? The way it's moving, bro, I'm a bit shook there. Okay. So if you want that full unfiltered intel, okay, in regards to Spain, Ibiza, Spain, I saw a lot of demonic activity in Ibiza, Spain. Munich, Germany, I love Munich, Germany, great women there. And Japan, get me to 100 followers on Twitch and on Kick. It's easy, bruv. It's easy. We have over 100 people watching. By the end of the stream or by the end of today, I should see 100 followers on my Kick and on my Twitch. Brother, Chomeri, we need you, bro, on the live stream in the future, bro. When you're ready, Chomeri, hit me up on IG. I'm gonna need you on my stream, brother, because what I saw in Japan, brother, I think you can confirm it too. Like, yeah, brother, I definitely would not wipe up no Osaka chick. No Osaka woman, bro. Nah. That's not happening. Absolutely not. Japan is for 304s. Like what I saw in Japan, right? A lot of pretending, a lot of deceit, a lot of weird activity. It made me shook. It's changed a lot, bro. And I'm gonna give you that intel, but I'm gonna need you to get me to 100 followers on Twitch and Kick, and you're gonna get that, okay? So let's talk for another 15 minutes, brother. Right, and then um we'll have a live a call-in show Q&A. No, brother, even for coca ain't safe, bro. For coca isn't safe. Nowhere in Japan is safe because I saw a stat right about this place in the Japan countryside, and the stat said that place is a place where a lot of 304s are produced, and that's in the countryside, bro. Nowhere in Japan is safe. You have to vet very well, bro. That's all I'm saying. You need to vet. If you don't vet, you're gonna get got. At this point in time, I don't care if a chick is Middle Eastern, is she black, if she's white, Japanese, Korean. I want to know. I want to know her whole history from the very day she was born. I vet, bro, because I don't just know any. And what I saw in Japan, oh my goodness! Like I love Japan, great country, but you need to be very careful out there, or you're gonna get a woman who is banged. No lie here, who was banged over 100 dudes. Yeah, yeah. Woman who's wearing long skirt, covers her arms, covers her chest, looks very cute and reserved, has a body count of 100 dudes, bro. No lie. Japanese dudes in Japan broke it down for me. Foreign dudes in Japan broke it down for me. I'm gonna give you that intel, right? Because it'll be several streams, right, where I'm going to break down the dark side of Japan, unfiltered, uncut, raw, right? I'm gonna give you the whole 9 yards, bro. Good,
Are you
bad,
serious?
and yes, bro, yes, bro. Listen, and don't let me get started on the cheating culture. That ish there is real, bro. That ish there is real to the point where, yo, y'all gotta watch your backs, bro. Again, get me to 100 followers on Twitch and Kick. Now, I am not giving up on Japan. Japan is 10 times better than the UK and America. It's a great country, but you need to watch how you move out there. And once again, like we say on this channel, never fall in love with the first woman that gives you play. Anywhere in Japan, in Panama, in Brazil, never do that. Have an abundance mindset. Do not fall in love with the first woman in any country that gives you play, that's feminine, that's submissive. Don't do it. Never fall in love with the first woman you meet, bro. Never. Never ever do that, man. Yo, I got my holy water, I got my Bible, I got my cross. Demons are getting destroyed tonight, bro. Demons, ghouls, ghosts, wickedness is getting destroyed tonight, bruv. So let's carry on here, Mr. Fires, right? Now, brother, when it comes to enjoyment, when it comes to quality of life, right? Particularly quality of life, I'm talking food, water, shelter. When you compare Brazil and Panama, which country's better for that?
And see, this is where it gets a little murky, right? By the way, can you hear me clearly?
Loud and clear, bruv.
Okay, cool. So we're still good. All right. Um, that's where it gets a little bit murky. And the reason I say it gets a little bit murky is because, I mean, there really isn't too much in terms of a difference. Like, both have clean drinking water, both have nice amenities of the places I stayed, both have upscale and downscale places that you can stay that are, relatively okay for each. Um, you know, in terms of just like the quality of life, like just the basic necessities, the four walls, you can have a similar life in both. I mean, I can't really give an edge to Panama in that because same things you find there is the same things you find in Sao Paulo, Brazil. If I guess I were to give an edge to Panama still in that category, is that their streets are significantly like more well, actually no, there's a lot less homeless on their streets than Brazil. But again, I there's more money flowing through Panama. That just makes sense, right? So that's the only thing I can really say. Like quality of life, cheap groceries, higher quality food, of course, in America, because obviously. Um, actually, that is one thing I have to give Brazil the edge on is the food specifically. The food in Brazil is a 10 out of 10. I went to this steakhouse in Brazil and I went there and had all you could eat steak for the first time because I didn't even know that all you could eat steak was a thing before I went to Brazil. And I went and they just kept bringing me steak because I didn't know that it was a flip on the table that told them whether or not to bring it to me. And it was always on green because I just sat down and I ignored it. I had a plate full of food. Like, oh my God, the food. Holy crap. The food definitely gets the edge in Brazil, man. My mouth's watering, like thinking about it for real. Like, just, man. And the drinks too, honestly. The Caipirinhas, Brazil Caipirinhas are way different strength than Panamanian Caipirinhas as well. Like, so I guess edge goes to Brazil on that front.
I can agree with that, bro. Obviously, I've not been Brazil yet, but Panama food, I do like it. But I think it's mostly around like chicken, beans, and rice. That I feel is the best cuisine. And me, that's okay with me. I grew up on that. I do like chicken, beans, and rice, and I thought it was tasty. I can eat that every day in Panama. Give me chicken, beans, and rice. Give me some fruits in the morning. Give me, that in the afternoon. Give me something similar in the evening. I can live off that, man. I'm not really into, exotic foods. Chicken, beans, and rice. That's cool with me, bro. But I can see why Brazil would have better cuisines there, from what I've heard. Shout out to Mr. Elder Tree for the support. Been a minute, IP. Keep giving this great content. Thank you both for the support. First super chat tonight. We have over 120 people watching, right? And only one super chat. No PayPal donations, and only one super chat. Y'all gotta support me more, man, okay? So please show IP some love and support the channel and the movement. That'd be greatly appreciated. So before I open up the phone lines in 7 minutes, brother, okay? So your overall assessment of Panama. So, but tell me, right? Let's summarize it, okay? What does Panama do better than Brazil? Break down all the reasons why you're putting Panama over Brazil.
Ooh, man. So of course the women, because that was the first thing that we talked about. The women were definitely a big like they were easier to talk to. They were a lot more friendly. More of them wanted a genuine connection versus just a money bag. Like I was able to actually go and see the water and things like that because of, the safety was much better in Panama than Brazil. Um, Panama definitely had more business going through it, so you could like find like more of the high end stuff that you want if you're into that sort of stuff. Versus in Brazil, you could find that stuff, but again, it's not advised to even go and buy it because unfortunately, um, like I said, the crime rate is high and the safety is just not there. Um, and I would also have to give the edge in terms of just like the flakiness of the people overall and just how like more like it like economically it's better because again there's less homeless in Panama than there is in Brazil. So I would have to give all those because my total score of Panama when I got back from it was a nine. I think it was either a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10. It was one of those two scores, but it was firmly in the 9 category out of 10. But I have to give because of the aforementioned knocks that uh I have to give Brazil, Sao Paulo, Brazil specifically, a 6.5 to a 7 out of 10. I mean, it was not that it was a bad trip by any means. I was able to make the most of it, in spite of the fall through of my partner that was supposed to be there. I was able to like go and visit some really rich culture. Right, the Sao Paulo the cathedral is great. I ended up going to, like I said, the Liberdade district. The I forget the name of the park, but it's a really prominent park where people like to go and run and play basketball. Physical fitness is really pronounced in both countries as well, so people are like very much in shape. But yeah, no, there's that's an at least 2 point gap between the two countries, which is huge in terms of ranking. So I mean, yeah, I have to give the crown to Panama in this comparison. I really do.
Yeah, man. No, brother, I feel you, bro. This is me in Panama last year. You can see, man. Look at the scenery. Look at the leaves. Look at that black chick coming out. You know, to meet IP. It was lit, bro. It was absolutely lit. Look at this, man. The views, bruv. You know, um, sunshine, summertime. You know, IP out there. You know, just chilling, bro. Working remotely, IT. This is, you know what? In Panama, right? I was actually remote working there, IT, and that's what I'm saying, brothers. Getting to IT. Join my Python course coming early next year, either in January or February, where I teach brothers Python. Okay. In the meantime, you can book an IT consultation with me for IT guidance and IT support and how you can get into IT. But definitely join my upcoming Python course so you can be in Panama and talk to women like this, man. Look at that. You know, if I was living in Panama, I'll probably take this chick out for dinner. You know, I like the glasses, I like the smile. You know, she's attentive. But I knew, look over there, right? Look to your left. Look to your left there, right? That's a brother. That's a black man there, living good, eating large, right? And that's what I'm saying, brothers, man. You see a lot of rich, successful black American men, right, in Panama that are living good. Either they're living there or retired there or there for work. Don't sleep on Panama, bro. Look at me chopping up with the chick, you know, a cute Latina. Look at her, man. And look at me going outside, showing you the views. It was lit, bruv. It was flames, bruv. You know, don't sleep on Panama. Yeah, Panama is slightly more expensive than Brazil, but with that, right, you get safety. You know, you you also meet more high value people in Panama. If you go to like San Francisco in Panama, right, Mister Fives, or what's that place called? There's this really like beautiful place in Panama City. I can't remember what it's called, like, but this long strip of running and things and walking. You're going to meet a lot of like successful people. You can network there. You can bring your laptop there, work IT there. I think it's San Francisco. Yeah, it's San Francisco. Look at that. Look at that. Like Latinas coming.
Yeah.
Look at the one that girl smiled at me. The one in the flowery dress fight. Look at her smiling at IP.
Yeah. I mean, it does remind me of the time where we were visiting a company and I won't say the name of them because of confidentiality, but we were having this lunch break right in between our bus tour and we met a American couple actually. The guy was a veteran and the wife was a former teacher. and they had decided to move out of the United States after they retired immediately because they couldn't stand how expensive it was and how nobody wanted to talk to each other and how everybody was just about money and how everything was monetized. And we were asking them, it's like, okay, well, what do you think? Like, do you ever think you're going to go back to the United States? And it's like, dog, we have absolutely no reason to leave Panama. We have zero reason. Everything we need is here. Our kids are grown. We have a retirement. Everything's like 30%, 33% cheaper than it is in the States. We can go to all the rooftop bars we want because, like I said before, the nightlife culture is better in Panama than it is in Brazil, right?
Oh,
Um,
you think
it
so?
just,
You think so, brother?
I don't think so. I know so. Yeah,
Break it
no.
down.
Like, again,
Break down the nightlife culture in Panama compared to Brazil. What makes Panamanian nightlife culture better in Panama than in Brazil? And I'll bring up a clip as well of me in the nightlife. Why? Why is that, bro?
let me just put it this way. Just to like go back to the comparison game, right? So in Brazil, when I was in Sao Paulo and I would go to these rooftop bars, right? I would go to Sky, I would go to Tokyo, I would go to all these different rooftop bars, right? Because that's the same thing that I did in Panama. So in anticipation for a stream like this, I was making a comparison, like mental notes, right? And in Brazil, right? Because of course I'm going out alone at this point. Um, I'm trying to go up to these groups of ladies and stuff like that and just talk to them, right? Nothing like, major, just some casual conversation. And you can tell that it's very similar to the American experience of trying to talk to a lady, right? You ask them a question and they just answer and they don't reciprocate at all. They don't want to know anything about you. But once I saw that those kinds of conversations weren't going anywhere, then I just stopped. And you also get the I have a boyfriend treatment a lot in Brazil as well, which is fine and fair if they actually have one, but you can tell that they actually didn't and stuff like that. Like most of the people there, to their credit, they did want to dance with you and stuff like that. But if you're not a good dancer like me, or if you're like interested in like going on dates and stuff like that, which was the end goal, like they're very in the moment people, right? They don't see like the future with you unless like of course you have all the advantages of like knowing Portuguese and like all that other stuff, right? Knowing Brazilians, things like that, right? But in Panama, right, if you go up to a group of women, like two, three deep, doesn't matter, right? Even if you're a single guy out there, a lot of the girls will chop it up with you. They'll play hit you, right? Like all this other stuff, right? Um, Even if they don't actually like not actually, but if they don't have an interest in you, like at the end of the day, at least they know how to make you feel better, right? And if you are looking for that type of good time, if you are trying to find a girl that, is date worthy or like you want to go into those environments, the Panamanians will be right with you to help you go in that direction, or they'll help actually wingman you, right? The Brazilians, they're not really wingman people. They're just grab somebody and get on the dance floor, right? They're just the hips do all the talking. So I give an edge, but there's also kind of personal bias because I am not a dancer at all. I don't know salsa. So
There you go, man. Like, don't sleep on Panama. Look at that Panama nightlife. Look at that, man. Chick showing me around the club. You know, I had a great time there. Met some good looking women, man. You know what, right? I didn't tell this story, right? But in that club, right, I met I met a group of women, right, and two of them Latinas were feeling me. Like, and it's a shame that I'm not living in Panama because if I was living in Panama, right, I would probably be dating one of those chicks, right, in that particular bar. They were, from what I saw, conservative. It was all girls group. Asked me questions. Hey, IP, where you from? Hey, IP, I love your accent, IP. Blah blah blah. And they were really checking, man. It's a shame that I wasn't living in Panama long term, but they were checking, man. And you know what? I do admit that when I go abroad, right, I use my accent as a cheat code. Women see a black guy, okay, that has an accent, that's well dressed, that's got a nice haircut, right? Nice lineup. They're checking, man. They want a brother. They want a black English dude, and I'm happy to be that brother, okay. And in Panama, right, they were super checking for me heavy, man. You know, I'll be real with you, brothers. I'll be absolutely real with you, brothers, man, brothers. I'll be real, man. They're checking. Look at that, man. Nightlife, chill, having drinks, no stress, no worries. Just you, yourself, and your thoughts, man. You get your laptop, right? You open up your laptop, you start doing some IT work. And guess what, brothers, right? That's why look at that. Look at that smile, brothers, man. They're checking, man. They're checking. Look at that chick. Listen, right. If I was living there long term, brother, in Panama, Lord have mercy, man. Yo, look at that. Peanut butter brown skin chick, right? Peanut butter brown skin chick. Look at that smile. Jelly.
And that's not and that's not like all that uncommon either. I mean, she's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. She's easily an 8 out of 10, no question about it. But you noticed because you paused it on that still frame, back it up a little bit. Notice how little makeup she's wearing. Look at how
Mm,
like naturally beautiful she is on her own. She's got a little bit of a cheekbone thing going, but I don't even think that that's even if that is cosmetics, that still represents how little cosmetics that the Panamanians and how people in Panama have versus your native Sao Paulan is what I'm saying, right? Like she's gorgeous on her own. Look at her. She's beautiful. But like I saw so many Barbie types in Sao Paulo that I just got tired of it after like day two.
I feel you, bro. And even in Panama, right? Or what shocked me, brother? What shocked me, right, was the fact that I met Peruvian chicks, I met Venezuelan chicks, white Venezuelan, brown skin Venezuelan, brother, and they were all gorgeous, man. Like, listen, brothers, don't sleep on Venezuelan chicks, man. Yo, in my opinion, I believe that Venezuelan women are, in my opinion, probably the most good-looking South American chicks. The beauty is on a whole different level. That natural beauty, and they were checking, bro. They were checking. The fact is, right? You can cold approach beautiful chicks. You can say hello, how you doing? Blah blah blah. It's easy, bruv. It's easy, fam. It's crazy out there, brothers. It's insane. Peruvian. I even met Cuban chicks. I ain't never met a Cuban person in my life, bro. In the UK, I go Panama. I meet dime Cuban chicks. It's insane, Panama, bruv. Yo, and I remember, right? I was there during the Super Bowl as well. Super Bowl was big out there. Women are out. The bars are all full up. The casinos, you just chill there. You watch the TV. And me, I was reflecting, bro, reminiscing about my life in the UK and how the best decision I ever made in my life, okay, was become a passport bro. Literally one of the best decisions ever was become a passport bro, and also get into IT. IT saved me, brothers, man. IT passport bro, that ish saved me, brothers, man. Imagine on the beach. I remember in my hotel, right? My hotel had like a rooftop bar, okay. And I get my laptop. I'm in my shorts. I'm in my white tee. I'm just doing some IT work remotely, and the wind is blowing in my face. The hot air, beautiful women in bikinis walking past me. That was the life right there, man. IT will give you freedom. It will save you. Get into IT, brothers, man. Join my Python course next year. You can be in Panama like this, man. Look at that. Look at that smile, man. Lord have mercy, brothers, man. They're checking, man. They're checking. And here's me in the club. I was partying. I tried to chop up with this chick. What happened that time? I can't remember. But here's me. You see, I even met American chicks and they were checking me out. This Asian chick, she was there with her black friends, and she was checking. But when I heard the accent, I let her go. I don't really deal with American chicks like that. Look at that, man. Look at that, bro. Right in my face. Right in my face. Look at that. It's five. See that, bro? Look at that. They're checking, man.
Yeah,
They, they,
that's
they,
not uncommon either. Yeah,
they
they don't
checking, bruv.
again,
Look at that.
Latin Americans are very physical people. Like that's just across the board. But like especially the Panamanians were very, very comfortable. You pull them close, they pull you close, you pull them closer, and it's just a perpetual thing until like like again, I really, really loved the fact that I could actually like touch and hold hands and like be around beautiful ladies and it not be like considered a heinous thing like it is here in America, right? Because in America, in a lot of other countries, you do that and it's just instantly like, oh, you're demonized to no end. But yeah, that experience is something that I really, really, and this is why when I was sitting on my layover, even in the airport, like when you're like laying over and like seeing all the people that are native Panamanians that are like, working in concessions or like mopping the floors or like, running the shops, the beauty stores, whatever they're doing, right? Massages, they all are just naturally gorgeous. Because the girl in that picture wasn't having a lot of cosmetics going on either, right? Maybe some foundation, maybe some like brushes, maybe some like basic stuff, but she wasn't overdoing it is the point. Like it's an effortless beauty, right? It's not that it doesn't exist in Brazil, because certainly there are a lot of ladies that are naturally beautiful in Brazil. But what I'm saying is, if we're comparing the amount that I've seen that had cosmetics, like that had some sort of like ancillary, like just like BBO or like, implants or whatever the case, the amount of that I saw easily goes to Brazil.
There you go. So let's open up the phone lines five to see if anyone wants to call in. If you have any questions for our guests, if you want to maybe share your experience about Brazil and Panama, please call in. Shout out to the Jughead77 for the support. Thank you, bro. Greetings, IP and Mr. Fives. I love South Central American women. They are so polite, feminine, and friendly. They South Central American women are only. Shout out to you again for the support. Women that smile at black men in these cold, friendly streets of London. Love and respect from London IP. Thank you both for the support. Brother, where in London, are you meeting these chicks? I'm in Birmingham, so I don't meet any South American chicks. But where in London are you meeting these Latin American chicks? And do you see in London, brother, women with black men that are Latin American? If you were in Vancouver, right, a couple of weeks ago, and I've been in Vancouver myself, right, and I saw Latin American chicks in Vancouver, right, but I didn't see them with brothers. I saw maybe their own race of men. But what I did see with brothers was white women, was mixed race women, and Asian women in Vancouver. And that's another country we need to explore even more, Vancouver, because there are Brazilian chicks in Vancouver. There are Latin American chicks in Vancouver, Peruvian, Panamanian, and I want to explore them more. Vancouver is a great spot, man. It's a glitch in the matrix. If you're a brother, you want an Asian girl, go Vancouver. Okay? Go Vancouver, bruv. So here's the phone lines for y'all to open up and call in. Once again, get me to 100 followers on Twitch and Kick if you want those Spain, Germany, and Japan live streams. Spain was insane, right? Ibiza, Spain, partying. You will see, I will break down, right, just how modern Western women go crazy in Ibiza, Spain, to the point where I kid you not, I'll give you a sneak peek, okay? So I'm in a hotel, right, and I meet this European chick, okay? And I can tell this European chick, she wants to get smashed. Now, I don't know her, right? And it's not happening. I don't know who she's been with, what she's done. I'm not smashing no random, okay? And I remember, right, this chick, right, I'm eating my food, right? She would just come up to next to me, hey, IP, how's your trip going? And one time, right, she was wearing her bikini, right? And literally her chest, right, was literally open because in Ibiza, Spain, right, women dress very promiscuous. Women literally are dressing with hardly any clothes on. So I'm out there eating, right? I see this chick, right? Her chest is out open. She's opposite me, looking at me. I can tell, oh, she wants to get down tonight. I gave her no attention. I count eating my food. She tries again the second day. It didn't happen. So I'm telling you, Ibiza Spain is crazy, bruv. You know, Munich, Germany, loved it there too. Again, if you want the Germany, Spain, uh, uh, and Japan intel, because Japan, I'm going to break down in several streams the real Japan. 100 followers on both Twitch and Kick, then you get those streams. Okay, awesome. All right, so call in, yeah. If you want to, but you were in Munich, right?
Yeah, I was in Munich, but that was only for a day, so I can't really speak on that. But I was mostly in the Frankfurt area of Germany.
Okay, brothers, get the likes up, man. Brother, how was Frankfurt for you?
Frankfurt for me was okay. This was during my time in the U.S. service, so I'm speaking from the perspective of somebody who was like uniformed at the time. But in my experience, just as a TLDR, um, those types of ladies wanted the stereotypical Black American man, and what I mean by that is Pookie. I mean, just I'm just being real. Like they wanted Pookie. Like they could say that they didn't, but whenever I would go out and I was a young, dumb airman and I would see people like and who they were leaving with and like what the kind of like vibe was in general, they said that they didn't want that, but in all actuality, that's what they wanted. I mean, I gotta call it like how I see it. Now, again, that wasn't like every single situation. I saw plenty of situations where a guy would get with a girl or a brother would get with a German lady and they would, ride it out for like a decade plus or out throughout their contract, whatever it is. They'd have two, three plus beautiful children and, you know, that would happen, right? But the nightlife that I experienced in between 2016 and 2018 in Frankfurt, Germany, was so much that of again, just it was westernized, it was Americanized, and I had to just sit down one day and accept that because it only progressively got worse as the years went on. So my decision to come back to the States to pursue an education, I was like, you know what, man, if this is going to be the case, then why even bother? You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Um, Hamburg, Munich is my hidden gems. I love Berlin too, but Berlin that's for the freaky stuff, the wild stuff. And go on the Patreon if you want to hear. Listen, right. And calling in the link is in the chat. If you want to call in, is pinned. Jam, can you turn your camera on in the background so I know you're not a troll, please? So if you're not on, why is it so dark? Is that you, Jam? It's all blacked out, bro. I need to see if you're a human being. Turn the light on. Yeah, you are, brother. Thank you, Jam. Camera off. So so I was gonna say this right. So if you want to know just how freaky Berlin is, okay? And when I say freaky, right, how ultra freaky Berlin is, go on the Patreon, right? And on the Patreon too, there's a country that I'm gonna drop where it's gonna shock you as to how freaky the women are. But there's a place in Berlin where, yo, yo, if a woman has been there, don't ever go near her. If a woman tells you, if a woman tells you, a German chick tells you that, hey IP, hey whatever, I've been here, right? Block, delete the number, and move on. What's up, James? I'm gonna bring you in a bit, bro. After Jam, it's been a minute, bro. Right? I'm gonna say this to you, brothers. Right? Block and delete a number. Go on the Patreon and check it out. Let me bring in Jam first. I'll bring in James after. But and before I do so, shout out to Jughead for the support. IP, I just see South and Central American women on my way back to work or shopping in London. I usually do not see them with black men here, but the point I'm making is that they do not screw face black men. Thank you, bro. Maybe bringing Jam in the background after that, bringing James. What's going on, Jam? How you doing, bro?
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm all right, brother. How you doing, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm well. I feel like I was good to speak to this, just considering the fact that I'm living in Brazil currently right now. I haven't been to Panama yet, but some of the things that I heard Five say, and I caught the tail end, so maybe he was a little more, uh, maybe he was a little more efficient before, or he said more things I didn't hear. But it could just also be a perspective thing from my end. But he mentioned about the women having a lot of work here in Brazil, and I mean that definitely exists, but I mean, and like I said, this could just be from my perspective because before I was based in Brazil, I was based in Miami, right? I think the first time I called you, I was in Miami. Actually, yeah, I was. So in Miami, getting work done right in Miami, that's just kind of how it is. Like it's unfortunate, but that's really how it is. So maybe from seeing how it was in Miami compared to here in Brazil, I'm like, this is way better, right? Because I have not been to Panama yet, but I just don't think the whole work thing is like the whole girls getting work done and natural beauty. I mean, I know you mentioned that girls are beautiful here, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, I've been here, I don't really see much of that, and I don't. And this is coming from someone. I'm just being honest, but they're coming to someone who does not deal with girls who get work done. Like if it's obviously got work done, I ain't going for that. Like I want natural beauty. I mean, I want to go for that for like a short term fun thing. Like if I see they got work done you're out. In my opinion, that's a no go for me. But he did mention that this was mainly in Sao Paulo, and while I've been to Sao Paulo, I was there for about 3 weeks. I was not a fan of Sao Paulo compared to other places, like Bahia and where I'm based at right now in Rio. So maybe Sao Paulo has more of that problem. I didn't notice it too much in Sao Paulo either, so I would like to know where he was at because I was in the more affluent areas. But I just don't notice that problem, to be honest with you. Maybe in Panama they just don't have it at all, or it's very rare in Panama, so that's obvious. But here it's still pretty rare too, for the girls to get work done. I mean, you need money for that, and while Brazil's not a poor country, they're not like a wealthy country like Korea to do stuff like that.
What's your thoughts there, Fives?
Well, to start with, like, as far as, because you said you weren't here earlier in the stream, so I did say that I was actually supposed to originally go to Brazil in 2022. I was supposed to go to Rio de Janeiro for the Carnival event, right? And that was supposed to last for like 2 weeks or something like that. Unfortunately, some personal issues happened in my life to where I couldn't go. And I was devastated because I thought that that would be like an amazing trip, right? It would have been like perfect time to go, like whatever the case, like, but Panama fell into my lap in the aftermath of what happened in my personal life, right? And Panama was not on my radar whatsoever. I had no idea this country existed. I'm like, what is this? Like, why are we going here to, finish out my degree and whatever? And I was encouraged by my academic uh, counsel to just go, right? They knew I was having a hard time in my personal life. They knew I just got out of a rough situation. They knew I just needed a break. So I went. And when I tell you, I was not expecting Panama to just blow away because I had no expectations of Panama. And maybe that's something that's just a me thing, right? Because Brazil has gotten so much hype in the travel. Like, I don't think either of you can deny this. Brazil gets so much hype in the travel community, especially over the past 5 years, because people who are fervently looking for a place to get out of the United States that was not too far away, like, because a lot of people like Asia are too far away, but also like because the jet lag and like to get used to like the ebb and flow of Brazil is just kind of like that, at least to me, right? But when I went to Sao Paulo, I was on Sao Paulo on the word of a person in the travel community who I won't name, but he is prominent. He's got, I think 50 plus thousand subscribers, whatever, right? I'll let y'all figure that out. But also of somebody I met at university. They were like, yeah, Sao Paulo is great. Come to my city, right? Like, you don't want to go to Rio, it's where all the Americans stay, whatever. So I take the recommendation. A couple of years pass after Japan. I go to Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo's big thing with me is just that when I'm seeing all this cosmetic, because again, I'm used to seeing it because I also spent some time in Miami. But when I'm looking at their faces and they've got these jaw lines and cheeks literally made of plastic, I'm just like, nah, dog. Like, I just no. So maybe I would have been better off in Rio. Like, you're right. But that was just how that cookie crumbled. And yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, thanks for a little bit more of the context, right? Because, like, that is something I definitely look out for. In fact, originally, like, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, I still have a friend of mine who's based in Colombia, Medellin, Colombia. He's been there for close to 3 years now. And back then, I didn't know any Portuguese, and I speak pretty good Spanish because I lived in Miami for 5 years. And Colombia is cheaper. So I was considering Colombia, especially because I already had a friend out there. But part of the reason why I didn't choose Colombia was in part of that problem. The fact that, all these girls get their work done. And apparently every girl is like, you know, pay for play over there. Pretty much it was difficult. My boy was having issues with this girl. So why don't you just ditch her, get another one? He pretty much told me because it's hard to find a little chick out here. Right. So yeah, that deterred me. But that's something that was definitely on my radar, right? The whole getting work done thing. Now in Sao Paulo, I would love to know exactly where in Sao Paulo. I mean, you don't have to, expose stuff you don't want to. But even when I was in Sao Paulo, because when I first came here, I was in Sao Paulo for 3 weeks. I did not really see that problem with the girls getting work done. I just did not see that, and I was in one of the more affluent parts of Sao Paulo. So I didn't really see that. But
sorry, IP. What are you gonna say?
No, so you say what you say your point, Fives. I'm gonna bring in James after your point, okay?
Well, I was just going to answer his question really quick. I was in city center of Sao Paulo. I was literally like maybe 5 minute, like a 5 minute Uber away, maybe a little bit less from the Sao Paulo Cathedral, if you're familiar with that. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I think about
So
10 minutes away from the Liberdade district, like literally spitting distance of everything. When I got there and I was talking to locals there, they're like, "Oh yeah, no, you're in city, Sao Paulo. Like you're here." So that's where I was.
Let me
no, I
bring
got
in
you. So
James in the background. Sorry, I just want to bring in James in the background. James, I'm gonna bring you in, bro. Okay, give me a thumbs up.
Okay.
Let me bring in James in the background. What's going on, James? How you doing, man?
What's going on, man?
All good, brother. How you keeping?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I remember I was listening to your show with the guy who was in Frankfurt, Germany. He was a DJ. Remember that dude?
I
The one
remember
that
him.
dropped
Yes.
off. Yeah, dude dropped off YouTube when I was trying to connect with him. I don't know where the dude's at now. I think he's got something, but he don't talk about it no more. But I'm glad he's what he said about Frankfurt, Germany, and I was there after he was. So as far as him saying it was getting really Americanized, well, I'm here to let you know that it's absolutely Americanized. And Brisbane, Australia, is pretty much like that too. Um, Anytime you big up a country and it gets loud enough and the right people hear it, that brothers are getting love over there, they'll send a team in there and they'll ruin it. You think I'm playing? I found this out through proper channels. And then I saw with my own eyes what they were talking about. And I was like, wow. They'll send a team. And they did it. But it's not clear across the board. And I'm looking for someone to say Munich is miles away from Frankfurt. Okay. Yeah, Frankfurt is very Americanized. And like they said back in the days when you used to go to places like Australia and Germany, anywhere you go, brothers are getting mad love. And when you clean cut and you proper, you type of dude that can get love in the United States in any country, like myself, you know what I'm saying? I get rejected and I get some too, you know? And you go
Now,
to
what
these
about
places, you're gonna go
so?
ahead.
And what about in terms of Panama and Brazil, the live topic? Have you been to those two countries
Yeah, my
before,
bad.
James?
I just wanted to talk about that. I feel you. Yeah. Now, what I want to know about, now I've been told this about Brazil, what you stated, that is getting like the United States, even especially in terms of racism. Now, if I hear there's about racism in the country, I don't want to go. I'm not even going to pull up to no racism. Some people will
Mm.
try to say downplay it, but you have enough people to say it's there. I'm like, okay, I'm not going. I'm not going. And I know of places that people try to downplay there's no racism there. There absolutely was. So I could write out Brazil right now until I hear and to get enough information that's changed. But as far as Panama, I've been told a lot of good things about Panama. My question is two things. One, you probably already stated it is what is the on-site visa situation? Like as soon as you fly in, how long can you stay there with no visa as an American? Is it
So
30 days?
when I was, it's a little loaded question because again, I was there as a student, so I was
Oh, you
technically, I
don't know
guess,
that.
there on a
Okay.
student slash tour. So, but from my recent research, I believe it is still 6 months. It's somewhere between 3 and 6 months visa free, and then you can just stay there. They will give you a questionnaire when you land.
Right.
And it's just basic stuff, right? Do you have any valuables? Like,
Come,
but nothing about
criminal
like,
record, health.
I mean, they're gonna ask you like where you're staying and stuff like that. But like
Yeah.
again, these are like stereotypical. These are typical questions that you're gonna get asked when you go to any country, right?
Right.
And I will say that that was one thing I noticed that, and I know that this is changing in 2025, but in Brazil they did not ask me any questions. Well, they asked me how long I was staying, but that was it. I didn't have to fill out a form or anything, which shocked me because I thought I did. Um, but I didn't. So I will give also Brazil an edge in that temporarily with an asterisk because it's changing soon. But yes, it was easier to get into Brazil than it was to Panama customs wise. But um, in terms of like how long you can stay there, I believe it is 6 months. If you want to extend, this is just from what I heard from the guy and the girl that, or excuse me, the married couple that's retired that was veterans and stuff like that. The extension process, if you're American, should be very easy. It should be, but yeah.
Did you feel that to get the best of them? I mean, like the really good girls, the ones that make a really good wife. Like, in other words, see, I really like to put this stuff on the map. Now, if you went to someone who kind of walks and carries herself like a congresswoman, or like those really gorgeous looking news reporter women, like women of that class, did you feel like if you had your stuff together, you can get them?
Oh yeah. No, like the
Okay.
moment that I ran into the girl that I ran into, that we went on a date and it was all like fanny dandy and all that good stuff. Um, the moment that she heard that I was in a graduate program at the University of Florida to try and get my, because I was gonna be fine with the bachelor's degree that I got like years earlier, but she heard the ambition in my voice and she didn't think cha-ching. She thought, oh, finally somebody's like else that's like this. Because again, she was also in university and also working out. Like she didn't make any excuses. Like she was like she had it like that. And I wouldn't say that I missed my shot because of course I had to fly back, I had to graduate, I had to deal with this god awful American economy, but I digress. Um she definitely, like the girls there in Panama definitely are not looking for Pookie and Ray, because there were some girls, just like being
Well,
real with you, that I was meeting at the club that were trying to look for Pookie and Ray Ray, but in
right.
spaces in Panama, they're not like that. Like buying, like in my experience, like they want somebody who's decent, that treats them well, that can at least dress semi okay, and they didn't even really give them. They also didn't give them like they didn't care that much about superficial stuff like height either, right? Again, I'm short, so my experience is unique. But what would happen in Panama is that they would be like, "Oh, you're a good looking dude. Yeah, a lot of us are short. I mean, I don't care. Let's dance, let's party, let's go these places. Like, let's do whatever." Versus in Brazil, that was a that was a much bigger striking point. They wanted tall, dark, and handsome. Which, if that's you, you got that bag. Not mad at you, just couldn't operate like that.
What about white dudes?
Hmm.
How do
This is
you
what I
fare
wanted to
against
bring up
them?
earlier. This is what I wanted to bring up earlier because it's not that brothers can't get love in Brazil. I am not saying that. I'm not saying you can't find success in Brazil. No. All I'm saying is that when I saw like couples walking up and down the street, I saw more of them either light skinned or just straight up white than I did um darker skin, right? I saw more of that in my experience. Like just going up and down the street, the Bedondes, the cathedral. Um, yeah, they were
Did you
just, I
feel
guess, lighter skinned up there.
when you were in Panama? Did you feel like you can compete with the white boys, with the best of them?
Oh God,
That
Lord.
class
I
of women
mean,
that I was talking about. Can you compete if there was those regular? You know how in the United States and a lot of places when we talk about, including Thailand, um, regular old white dudes be getting like girls that are like so out of their league. You think someone is punking you? Do you
I
see
get the
that
question that you're
any of
asking.
that in Panama? Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Um, in Panama, you don't got to worry about that so much. I mean, the amount of lighter skin ladies, like the girl in the still of like IEP's video, I mean, they're there, but they're not as frequent as darker or caramel complexion kind of skin people like what I am. Um, you are going to have a tougher time in Sao Paulo, but you're not going to have as tough a time in Panama.
Are you
Okay.
saying that?
Oh, sorry, James.
Because, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let me go up to Jam. 'Cause I ain't got too much left time left in the stream.
All right, man.
Jam, Jam, do you have any questions you want to speak, brother?
I can co-sign with fives on the the white thing, right? Being a thing in Brazil, like I can co-sign on that. Like you have to be more on point, right? If you're black, especially from a looks perspective, like Brazil, and maybe and I just noticed with a lot of beach towns, the only beach town I've noticed this is like Pattaya or Bangkok, stuff like that. Even though Bangkok's like beach town, but they very much care about looks. So you got to be in shape. Like if you're sloppy, you're going to struggle. I had a friend of mine who was here, and he was sloppy. He's working on it now. He's been pushing. He's been running every day. He's losing weight. But back when he was here in Brazil, like, he wasn't in shape, so he wasn't really getting much love. So if you're like that as a man, I would you don't have to have you don't have to have a raging six pack, but you gotta look good in like in a form fitting shirt. And then also about the customs thing, that 5 step before, yeah, that's also true. I also co-sign that. It is easier. Now they said they're gonna do it later, but they've been saying they're gonna do that for months now. They pushed that date back several times, so I feel like it's more so a threat so that America doesn't do more things to Brazil. Like, it's more retaliatory, because that was the issue I had when I first moved here. Like, I was trying to move here before the 10th because that was the date they were first supposed to originally make it more difficult. But I also would say that the visa process, 5 said it was easier in Panama. Yeah, it's definitely in Brazil. It's a lot harder. Like, you need to get a lawyer. Oh,
No. I was saying that the visitation, the tourist visa was easier in
no,
Brazil than it is
yeah,
in
you're
Panama.
saying no. I agree with you on that. So I'm co-signing that, but I'm saying the extension process you mentioned, right, from what you've heard, is easier in Panama, and I'm co-signing that as well. I'm saying I agree with you, because in order for me to get my extension process in visa, in Brazil, I had to get a lawyer. I couldn't just easily navigate this myself. I had to pay someone in order to work through the hoops, because Brazil, the government it's a whole other thing, So it's if you're short term, right? If you want to stay less than 6 months, Brazil is very easy to come to. But if you're like me and you're staying, like, I've been rocking here for almost 10 months now, then you need to get like a lawyer, and that's pretty much everyone I know. That's what they do. They get a lawyer to deal with the visa stuff. But
By the way, to answer your question from earlier, yes, it is still 6 months, 180 days.
Okay.
yeah, so what
All
I'm
right.
saying is that that's good intel, pretty much. I co-sign with pretty much everything you just said there.
Also, I need to head off in a bit, so let's go for last questions from James and Jam. James, do you have one last question before I wrap up the stream?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go into last question I asked. He said, when I asked about white dudes in Panama, well, you could say Brazil too, but I kind of want to focus on Panama. When I asked, like, can you fare against the white dudes? Like, you stated that the reason why, and you talked about what they look like, their skin complexion and everything. Now, we both know that what they look like has nothing to do with what's going on in their brain. I'm not trying to say that's what you meant, but what I mean was, if your reasoning, I want to know as far as your reasoning, that you can compete with them. Are you saying that because their brains are not affected by that white supremacy bullshit? Excuse my French. And they're not brainwashed to see white boys as superior and black men as just regular or lower level. Like, black men have to put on an extra, like he said, you got to be GQ and all that just to get them. When it's old regular white dude with stank breath can just walk in there and get the best of them. That's what I'm talking about. If that's there, even a little bit, please tell us about that.
If that's your question, then
Yes.
no, you don't have to be GQ. You don't have to do any of that. I think it's honestly just a resignation thing. Like, their brains don't because I can say, like, here's an example. In the study abroad, there were two really tall gentlemen that both didn't speak Spanish. One was white and married, and one was black, right? And the white married guy, basically, because he's like really, really tall, he was like 6'7" or something like that. He got like no he wasn't getting like flirtatious like looks or smiles or anything like that. Like, the brains of the ladies there just didn't click. Like, oh, white dude, he's obviously rich, he's obviously American, blah blah blah. They saw a black dude, oh my god, like, he looks so dreamy, and like, they're all this guy doesn't speak Spanish, by the way, so like, he also is just as clueless as I am, but he's getting a lot of love. And you're right, like, I guess they're not like mentally like, oh, white guy, I gotta marry white, or oh, like, light skinned person, I gotta marry light skin. They're not like that at all. They love brothers in Panama. And yeah, that's basically all I gotta say about that. You're pretty much on point with your assessment.
Oh,
Awesome.
all right, cool. No,
Thank you,
only
James.
one thing, and please let me get this one in. I'll be quick. When you
Okay.
said about Pattaya, they don't really care about looks or race. Actually, well, you said Thailand, you didn't say Pattaya, but a lot of people know about Pattaya. In Pattaya, it's changing. A lot of men I watched it in real time. A lot of men get rejected in Thailand. Even the hoes are rejecting men. So, and I've seen it. I've seen very, very, very popular YouTubers who talk a lot about Thailand getting rejected hard, and I got video to prove it. Okay,
Awesome.
I saw 'em. I saw what I saw, and do not come out to Thailand thinking you can just grab some Thai girl, bang an ass Thai girl, and take her back, and you starting to hit it. Don't think that. You're gonna have a really bad. You're gonna want to leave. I promise you that. You're gonna want to leave.
Thank you, James. Appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man. I'm dropping you off there. Jam, do you have any closing questions before I wrap up the stream?
I guess just two, all right, to come back at that guy's point. I was just there last year, so it's been a little bit less than a year since I was in Pattaya. And yeah, they might care about looks more because there's more competition, but for the most part, you're going to get something, right? You might not get the girl you want, but you'll get something in Pattaya. And that's not true for a lot of places. But in overall, right, about the shrimp, which is the reason why I called in, is I just don't want people to think that Brazil is like Colombia, right, where they're all like filled in. I mean, some stuff is true. I'll admit, right, like the white admiration, right, is real. I'll be honest, that is a thing. It affects me less because I guess I am a quote unquote on point black dude, but I do notice that if I was, like the black equivalent of the white dude that I'm seeing, this happened to me literally just yesterday. I saw this black dude, 28, already had this white dude, 28, already had gray hairs. Oh, bless his heart. But he was pulling attractive girls. I'm like, this is something that, if he was a black dude, I just don't think he would do, But I just wanted to say about the whole Rio and the Sao Paulo thing that Faz mentioned, right? If you ask any native right here in Brazil, they'll always tell you, right? If you're going to Sao Paulo, they'll look at you with like a frown face and be like, "Oh, you sure?" Like they don't like Sao Paulo, right? Sao Paulo is like the bad New York version, right, of Brazil. Like even the people from Sao Paulo come here, right, to vacation. It was just a holiday. I forgot the name of it. It was just a holiday like 2-3 weeks ago, and all the Sao Paulians came to Rio, right? So my recommendation for you is to come to Brazil again. Come to Rio, you'll have a much different experience. And I understand why you feel this way because, like I said to IP, I had a stream with him before about Brazil. And honestly, there's a lot of things I saw in that stream that I regret. And it was mainly just because I didn't spend enough time long enough in order to have a really fully formed opinion. So I'm assuming that's the same thing that happened with you, Favs. But yeah, that was just pretty much all I have to say. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, bro.
Thank
Much
you.
appreciated. Okay, Mr. Fives, any closing statement from you, bro?
Yeah, well, I mean, and to just kind of go off of his point, you're right. I mean, like, I didn't spend an enormous amount of time in either country, to be realistic with you. I spent around the same time, 10 days in both. So this is just an opinion of one man's experience. So please, everybody in the chat, take it with a grain of salt. We all encourage you to go get your passports, go and take that flight and go experience it for yourself because, that's the only way to really find out. However, what I will say is that this recent trip to Brazil, when we compare it to Panama, has taught me, of course, everything that glitters is not gold. Everything that you think about when you dream, oh, all I have to do is go to Japan and all my problems will be fixed. All I got to do is just go to Brazil and all my problems will be fixed. That's not necessarily true. uh, like I told y'all before, Panama was nowhere near on my radar at the start of 2022. And by the end of 2022, it's one of my top 3 favorite countries that I've ever visited, ever. So I leave y'all with this. If y'all are hesitant on a certain destination or to do something that you're thinking, maybe I don't know, I don't have any interest in it, whatever the case, sometimes you got to take a chance. Sometimes you never know, right? Like we roll the dice a lot on a lot of things, but in my experience, Panama 9 out of 10, Brazil 7 out of 10, and that's where I'll close it out on.
Thank you very much, Fives. Much appreciated, bro. Brother, we'll speak soon. Have a nice week ahead, okay?
All right, you too. Have a good
Peace
weekend.
out. Peace out, bro. Thank you very much. Okay, brothers. Oh, man. Wow. Brothers, so great live stream. Shout out to Fires for the support. Shout out to all the super chatters. Make sure you like the flip. Hold on. What's up? Hold on, brothers. Yeah. Okay, so please like the video. We have over 120 people watching, but less than 100 likes. Like the video, please. Hit the super chats, hit the PayPal donations after the stream. Show IP some support. If you want to hear more intel about Brazil and Panama, okay, how freaky they are in the bedroom, that's only on the Patreon, okay. So please check out the Patreon for that. We got a very incredible Patreon, X-rated, uncut, in regards to a country that's popping off right now. Got a brother out there giving us live intel. You're gonna love it. So check out the Patreon that's coming out very, very soon. Aside from that, you know the deal. 100 followers right on Kick and Twitch, and I'll give you those Brazil, I'll give you those Japan, Germany, and Spain live streams. Okay. So here's my Kick in the live stream chat. Flipping heck. Here's my Kick. Okay. And here's the Twitch as well. Twitch, Kick. Yeah, you're gonna love those streams, man. Okay. All right. So yeah, I think the Japan one, right, that I'm planning is gonna shock the world, man. It's gonna shock you, brothers. It's even made me reconfigure my plans. Like, is Japan really the country that I want to settle in? You know, I love the country, but I need to make sure that, you know, I'm in a spot where it's, yeah. Wait to the stream, because all that cutesy stuff, all that dressing conservative stuff, man, peel back behind the layers, man. Like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing this time around. It's a very interesting country. Looks are deceiving. Looks are definitely deceiving. You're gonna have to vet very well in Japan, because I'm telling you that it's chain culture, body counts. What I saw there is I need to we need to break it down. Shout out to Rico Tubbs for the support. Why am I coughing so much? What the fuck is going on? The fuck is going on? Shout out to Rico for the support. Rio is really fun. They have a lot of nice women who like brothers. Brazilian women love gentlemen. It's important to learn some Portuguese. Thank you, bro. I feel like in regards to Brazil, learning Portuguese, man, that's an effort, man. To only give me access to one country, you know, and you know, I don't know, man. It's we'll see. What is going on, bruv? Hold on, let me get some water, because I don't know what's going on. I'm good. Okay. Ain't no wise no soccer, bro. Ain't no wives, no Osaka, right? Ain't no wives, no Osaka, man. I'll tell you that. Don't wife up no Osaka chick. I'll tell you that, man. Osaka's done. Osaka's nah, it's done. It's done. It's done. You know, it's it's done, man. So Japan is no longer my first choice. It's on my list. You never know. It's on my list. It's my top 10, but no longer my first choice. Yeah, I'm just, you know, Japanese women. The secrets that they have, man. They have a lot of things hidden. I just don't. I don't vibe with that, man. Like, you know, I don't vibe with no games, man. You know, and you know, I really y'all might call me crazy, right? But religion is very important. I'm sorry, like a woman that doesn't have a higher power, I think there's just problems there, man. Like there needs to be guilt in a woman's life. Um, there has to be. You know, there's don't know how to say it, man. Like it's you know, it's really making me like I think brothers have to be logical when picking a wife, the mother of your children, her values, right? And religion is important, man. You know, and that's why I don't blame dudes converting to Islam. That gives them options to with Moroccan women, Algerian women, Saudi Arabian women, Qatari women, etc., etc. I see why. You know. I'm being honest with you. Like religion is important. You know, especially if you want to have kids and have a stable family and having her family check her for her nonsense. Religion is a strong backbone, right? And that's why they're doing all their best to try and remove that guilt. I just saw a clip, right, of this English chick, right, who banged 100 dudes in one day, and she was crying. If she believed in God, do you think she'd be doing that BS? If she had a godly foundation, do you believe that she'll be doing that BS? Press a one in the chat if you heard that story in America or around the world. There's an English chick, and she wants to bang 1,000 dudes in one day. What kind of filth is that, bruv? What kind of disgustingness is that? Y'all got a peep game, bruv. Y'all got a peep game. Do you believe a godly chick, a woman who believes in God, who's praying, right? Who has God as a foundation, will be banging 100 dudes in one day and going for 1,000 dudes in one day as a world record? Yeah, y'all gotta start thinking beyond looks. Think beyond, you know, how beauty. And that's how I'm moving right now, bro. That's how I'm moving right now, bro. It ain't about, and that's what I said. I said, brothers, right? Give me a 6 out of 10 chick who believes in God, who is a virgin, low body count, has a great personality, over a 10 out of 10 chick, right? Who doesn't believe in God, right? Who has a high body count. Beauty is not everything, bro. And I'm being honest with you. Beauty is not everything, right? I don't give a damn about looks anymore. I'm just thinking about what is your character like? Is your dad in your life? Are you a virgin? Do you have a low body count? Right? Do you believe in God? You know, where does your morality come from? Because let me tell you, right, like Japan is an atheist country, you know, and I could see it when I was out there, bro, and I could see the cheating culture. Bro, the Japanese people that I meet have told me that Japanese, the way they cheat, is the worst in the world, man. There's cheating everywhere, but in Japan, the cheating's a whole different level. If you want that particular content, Twitch and Kick needs to get to 100 followers. But as I was saying, right, God needs to be the foundation, right? God needs to be the foundation of a woman's life. A woman who doesn't have God in her life will do anything for money. They will do anything for money. And Cho Mary, that is a great point there, right? When money is your God, right? When you're so capitalistic, right, to the point where you will do anything for it with your boss or whatever, you've lost it. You've lost the plot. And Chomeri, yep, that's quite heavy in Japan. So can you even trust a Japanese chick, right, who works at a corporation? I don't think so, bruv. I'm telling you, in that Japan stream, right, we're gonna break down what I really saw out there. Can you trust a Japanese woman who works at a normal company and has a Japanese boss? I don't know, bruv. I don't think I could. I'm honest with you. Japan will make you paranoid. Honestly, there's a lot of fun times there, but it really will make you paranoid, bro. It really will. Because even in corporations, filthy, dirty things happen, bro. That's swept under the rug. Look past the anime, look past the manga, look past the kawaii culture, look past Pokemon and Digimon and all that BS, right? And see Japan for what it truly is. It's a godless society, bro. You know? Look past it all. Yep, you can't trust women at work. That's why, brothers need to be working hard, right? And have enough money to support your wife and your kids. So what does that mean? Have passive income. Be investing in stocks, in crypto, in your career, in business. Because I admit, I don't really trust women at work anywhere, bruv. I just don't. I don't. I want a woman that wants to be at home, okay, and look after the kids. I'm being honest with you. Women at work, there's problems there, man. There's problems. You don't know the guy she's working with. You don't know they're going out for drinks. It's, I don't know, bruv. That's why having passive income, investing, do it right now, bro, because things will get harder. The way the world is going, the way the whole capitalistic system is going, I just press a two in the chat, right? I just saw that a certain company has increased their their streaming services from $30 to $50. So you're seeing how it's going, bro. Like it's getting rampant, capitalism. And you want to be in the top. You want to be in a position where it doesn't affect you. Yeah, so I am encouraging black men to be capitalist. There's no socialism coming. Unfortunately, reparations ain't coming, unfortunately, So I'm telling you, brothers, right? Please, okay? Make sure, right, you prioritize getting the bag, right? I don't want to see you protesting for no socialist BS, because that's not coming, bro. The powers that be will never happen. Never ever let it happen. We need to be in the top, generating passive income 24/7, 365 days. That can be via stocks, via crypto, business, career. And that's why my Patreon, I speak about crypto and stocks. Gotta be prioritizing that, bro. Ain't no game. Shout out to Ayisa A for the support. Appreciate you, bro. Small town / Christian women are for UIP. Japan is for the younger generation that can navigate. I see you exploring Christian communities. Facts, bro. I'll be with you. Facts, bro. Facts. I'll be deadly serious with you, bro. And also, you want a girlfriend, right, that has not been on university campuses. 4 years away from her parents is a bloody long time. 4 years. What happened in those 4 years? Well, dudes are coming in her dorm and smashing her. She's partying excessively. She's drinking. She's exploring different ideas, bad friends, campus life, and women indulging in that. I don't want a campus girl, right? And that's one thing, right? I'll give Japan. A lot of women go to universities from home. That's one thing that I will give Japan their credit for. A lot of people go to university from home to save money. Campus life isn't really a big thing out there, right? So you don't want a campus girl. You don't. You want a girl that's not been on campus, or a girl that went to like community college or didn't even go to university. Listen, I would marry a girl that did not go uni and wanted to work in Starbucks or, you know, a coffee shop at 18, 19, 20. I don't really care. I don't want a campus girl. So we as men need to be getting the bag to the point where we can travel the world, okay, and to the point where we can also, you know, what's it called, vet, and you know, we can also, if you have to, just pay someone to get a woman for you in the village or whatever. I would do that, bro. I would do that. I ain't marrying no 304. I ain't marrying no 304, bruv. Hell no. I would literally pay to get a wife, and you know, and I don't blame some dudes converting to Islam, you know, to get a wife. Now I'm not done with Japan. I'm just opening my options. You know, I want to explore Africa more. I want to explore Africa more. You know, I want to see what Africa's got for me. I see myself marrying a black African chick. Hell yeah, because they have what I want. They got black woman, light skin, brown skin black woman. They got religious women over there. They got women who actually take religious seriously and God seriously. Absolutely, bro. Yeah. Think about your legacy. Think about how your kids will be raised. Yeah, hell yeah. Africa is definitely my list. I see myself marrying an African chick. Facts. It ain't just Japan for me anymore, but I'll be honest with you. I need to expand my knowledge beyond Japan. I'll be honest with you, brothers, man. Because again, you got to think about your values. Japan, atheist country, number one, red flag. Number two, the stuff they eat there, I don't really get down with. Too much raw food. I don't know about that. Nah. Number two, what else about Japan? High cheating culture, becoming westernized very quickly. Osaka's done. I'll be honest with you. That city has fallen. You gotta know Japanese, and Japanese is hard to learn. It's very hard to learn Japanese. Women keep their secrets very well, and they hide it very well, to the point where you can't even judge a woman by, because in Japan, right, a woman may dress like a 304, but have a very low body count. A woman may dress like a flipping church girl and have a high body count. Japan it's a mind twist, bro. It's a mind twist. And you know what, right? I wish I had better mentors when I was younger. Because I do believe things go wrong for a lot of women when they're 18, 19, 20. That's when they start their university years, right? And I feel like when you're a guy that's 18, if you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, press a 1 in the chat. Because if you're university, right, in my opinion, that's the best way to find your wife or your long-term girlfriend. At 18, she hasn't got a high body count. She could be a virgin, very low body count at university. And I wish someone told me that IP, take dating and looking for a wife a lot more seriously in that age range. No one told me this, bruv. All they told me was IP, go to school, education, get good grades. But they never told me that outside of university, things get really deep and dark with women. So any guy that's 18, 19, 20, and you're currently at university, yo, look for a good girl, bro. Look for a good girl, because it gets harder, and women who leave universities have a crazy high body count. That's the number one priority for dudes that age at university. Getting good grades and finding wifey. Flipping heck, bro. Yeah, I see myself just buying a wife. If it comes to that, I don't really mind. I'm not gonna settle for 3 or 4. You know, leave it to the Pell boys who smash anything and date anything. You know, leave it to them. They just they'll do that kind of craziness. Us as brothers, we don't do that stuff. We don't date 3 or 4s and wife them up. It's the Pell boys that are paying for OF in mass numbers. They're different, man. Shout out to Islam. Shout out to Middle East. At this point, bro, I don't really care about looks. Give me a 6 out of 10 woman that's a virgin. I don't really care about looks anymore. Give me a woman that's 6 out of 10 that's a virgin. I'll take that. And the whole parental teaching lifestyle there in Japan, you know, Japan, they get, you know, good rep for, you know, raising, you know, the people society wise, but I feel like there's a lot of like crazy things happening in families in Japan. I don't want to go too deep into it. I think that's a Patreon talk. But that's why you see a lot of women out there in the streets holding signs. I don't know, man. There's this, a lot of Asian countries are not as they are not what they seem. I'll tell you that. A lot of dark stuff going there in Japan, bro, and it's hidden very well. Living there, I don't know. I need more research. I need more time. I need. I ain't crashing out. I'm just saying, bro. Like, I'm just saying, bro. Like, Japan shouldn't just be your only priority. Japan. It ain't no paradise, man. It ain't no paradise. I'm telling you that right now. It's not. It's not no paradise, bro. Some real dark stuff going on there. And if you don't know, if you don't know how to vet, what to do, how to navigate, you're gonna get got. No name bleach. What the flip? Oh, shoot. If you want the intel, you give me 100 likes, 100 followers on Kick and Twitch. Yeah, Chomeri, you need to come on the channel and share your experience. You know, Theo is entitled to his own opinion. If Theo says it is what it is, I can't disagree with Theo. He's lived there. You know, if Theo says that I have my experience there, Theo has his own experience, and you have your own experience there. And that's what makes traveling great and bringing brothers here. Um, give me 10 minutes, right? I need to just sort out something in my kitchen. Hold on, yeah? No, I'm gonna find a 6 that's low body count, virgin. Give me that over 10 out of 10 chick who has a high body count and has a beauty that's out of this world. I don't want a beautiful woman. I don't want a beautiful woman. I made it very clear. I don't want a beautiful woman. I don't. Problems come with that. Dudes trying to test you, take her away from you, high maintenance. I don't want a beautiful chick. Give me 6 out of 10, submissive, feminine. I'll take that, bro. It ain't about looks. Look beyond looks. They be doing the freakiest stuff behind the scene, bruv. That's facts right there, man. Kawaii, kawaii, Pikachu, Pikachu. But you a freak, huh? But you got a body count of 100, huh? Yo, that kick stream, that Twitch stream is gonna be classic, man. So no more Japan talk now. You need to make sure you follow me on Kick and Twitch. Get me to 100 followers. 100 followers, and you're gonna get those streams, okay? As I end the stream, I ain't gonna marry no beautiful chick. I ain't gonna date no beautiful chick. There's problems there. There's problems. I don't want no beautiful chick, man. 6 out of 10 minimum. I'm cool with that. Look beyond looks. I want stability. I don't want any problems. I just give me a humble 6 out of 10 chick that believes in the Lord God. Because having an atheist, is a problem, man. It's a problem. Where is your morality coming from? What makes you think? What makes you decide between good and bad? If you're cheating a lot in your country, that means you don't believe in God. You don't have a fear of guilt. Listen, religion stops a lot of. I'm not saying it does it 100% of the time, right? But it stops a lot of things happening. It stops a lot of things happening. Okay, we got a troll. Got a troll in the chat. So it stops a lot of things happening. It gives you morality. It gives you how it show how to live. It shows you about no, Theo's an honest dude. Theo's a good person. He's honest. Shout out to Theo. It shows you about. It gives you that guilt factor. Religion. It gives you morality. And you see, with these atheist countries, when there's no God in your life, you live for the world, And I've been thinking about it a lot, man, recently. I don't want no 10 out of 10 atheist chick. Give me a minute. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute. Great stream. Hold on. Yeah, stay. Stand by. Give me 5 minutes. Check on two. Check on two. Who's here? I'm about to drop off. I'm about to drop off in a bit. 10 minutes. Drop off in a bit. Great stream, yeah. Get me 200 followers on Twitch and Kick. Okay. Please get me to 100 followers on Kick and Twitch. Twitch, Kick. Join the Discord too. Join the Discord too. Okay. Discord there. Community. Reddit, Discord. But join the Discord too. Yeah. The Discord is fine, bruv. Join the Discord. Here's the Discord here. There's the Discord on the screen. See that over there? Funny guy, huh? Funny guy. Make sure you got $1 million with you. So London chicks ain't going for broke dudes. Alright, 5 more minutes. I'm gonna end the stream. Again, here's the Twitch. I'm posting in the chat. Here's my Twitch account. Twitch. And here's my Kick as well. Follow me on Twitch, please. Get me to 100 followers on Twitch. There you go. And follow me on Kick too. Get me to 100 followers on Kick. If you want the Germany, Spain, and Japan license, Twitch Kick. Get me to 100 followers. Make sure you follow. Make sure you also, brothers. Okay. Create an account on both platforms. And follow me on there. Okay, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Been a pleasure, brothers. I'm in the stream. Where's everyone listening from? Where are you listening from? Where's everyone listening from? City and country. Country, city. Type in the chat. Type in the chat. Type in the chat, yeah? Country and city you're listening from. Tell me what country and city you're listening from. Last 1 minute. Tell me what country and city you're listening from. Last minute. Awesome, man. Cho, how the women in Vancouver treating black men? Cho Mary, how the women in Vancouver treating black men? You checking? Let me know. Particularly Asian women, Japanese, Korean, Chinese, Hong Kong, Taiwan. How they treating black men in Vancouver? All right, brothers. Peace out.